Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It's Tales from the Dive Bar. Of course, you can always drunk dial us at 847-220-7769. And with us, Alan, are you excited? We have a guest.
I'm very excited.
We have none other than professional eater Patrick Deep Dish Bertoletti, who just recently brought the Chicago title back home for the Nathan's famed hot dog eating contest here in downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
Patrick, how you been, man?
I'm good. I'm still riding the high, and it just feels good that it feels right that the mustard belt is in my possession in Chicago. I think that's where it belongs.
You brought it back home. Yeah. And as of this last weekend, because I checked out your Instagram, you had a stack of blueberries in a shopping cart along with some Males Depends. So did they come in handy this weekend? And do we have a new record holder for blueberries?
Yes. I didn't actually buy the Depends. I was nervous, though. Somebody suggested that I might have issues with eating a lot of blueberries, but I did not. And there's set a new world record, 18 and a half pounds of blueberries in 8 minutes.
Jeez. Oh, how many hot dogs did you finish with? I didn't see the exact.
On the 4th, I ate 58.
58
in 10 minutes.
And what is the ritual you get into before you get ready to eat 58 hot dogs?
You know, it started a long time before that, like months before. Just you'll drink a lot of water to keep your stomach loose and stretched out, low calorie. Oh, it's no calorie, and then you alternate that with practices of eating the hot dogs. And it's really not fun. It's a lot of work too.
It does. It sounds like a lot of work with professional eating. I mean, I've been following you since the first time I got a press release from you when you were doing, oh my goodness, it's like 2009. It was for the La Costina
Jalapenos.
Eating. Yes.
Yep.
And that year, because you were going that weekend, unfortunately you lost, but you had already been the winner back in 2008 for that one for jalapenos. So do you still eat as many jalapenos? Do you still love them as much as you do since back then?
You know, I was never a big fan of them before that. I actually like them more now than I did before. My taste buds for spicy food have increased. But, man, those things mess me up. So
I read something.
I do like them more. Yeah.
Sorry, I read something that you ate 99 of them after eating 47 fucking donuts in 5 minutes. Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was like one of my, up until now, that was a very good performance for me because it was like a Spike TV thing. And the day before we did corned beef and cabbage where I tied Joey 10.63 pounds in 10 minutes. And then I think that was the finals where donuts, I beat him by 5. And then we had to clean the table and do the jalapenos right after. So yeah, that was a good one.
My girlfriend wanted me to ask you which was the worst one that you've ever done, and she's like, it's got to be corned beef and cabbage. It's like that's just after a certain part, you're just like, I'm done with this. Was that one?
No, it wasn't that bad. The worst one I ever did was in outside of Prague. It was plum dumplings. That was, I think it was an hour competition. You couldn't drink any water. That was brutal.
That's
that was
very
difficult.
Heavy. That's just heaviness.
Well, jumping back to the jalapenos, when I interviewed you in August of 2009, you had lost to the Black Widow, Sonia Thomas. Is she still a competitor? Or I guess we should mention, or I should ask, are there some competitors that can get up, or you could say notably are at your level or near it?
She is no longer an eater, but I do owe her for my overall record in jalapenos because I think there was one year when it was kind of close after she definitely kicked my ass that one year, but we changed venues to like Laredo or I don't even know, San Antonio. And we kept tying the one year. And then I was so mad that kept happening. The next year I just decided to blow it out where I did 275. Sorry, that was a long way to go for a dumb story. Apologies.
Oh, no,
it's
good. Perfectly.
That's all we tell on here is dumb stories, man.
Yeah. So to have, a world record holder, not just a world record holder, but a multi-professional eater world record holder. I mean, you've eaten 16 inches of pizza, that's 47 slices in 10 minutes. The blueberry this last weekend, how many pounds of blueberry did you scarf down?
I think it was just under 18 and a half pounds in 8 minutes. So that, yeah, I think to me that's one of my more impressive ones, and I'm very proud of that one because a lot of the records are from like 12 or 15 years ago, and they don't really sound that impressive, nor am I that impressed with them. But that one, blueberries, is very good.
So after a Sunday of eating blueberries, how do you feel? Do you start turning violet like that one movie we all grew up watching?
Willy Wonka.
Oh, yeah. What's it called? Yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
It's it was weird because they're a lot more sour than you think, and if they are not properly chewed, the similar situation happens when you eat corn, but whole blueberries. If you understand
Yeah, that was kind of disturbing. That must be a fun toilet experience after all those blueberries. That's one of the first things I thought was that's probably not a fun couple hours after. But hey, man, you got to do what you got to do, right, Pat?
I just didn't expect that for that to happen, and then it didn't make me shit myself like everyone said. It's just a weird food to, foods like that where you have the record for something weird like that. That's even makes it even better,
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, how close are you with Joey? How what are you thinking about him? Because I know he just hung him up after a long time. Are you guys friends, or is it more of like a rivalry with you guys?
No, he's one of my good friends, and he's moved on. At least he's making some good money. I mean, he was always making good money, but he has a deal with Netflix where they're bringing Kobayashi back. So
yeah, I saw that.
Nothing but love for him and respect. And yeah, I mean, it's a different contest without him there in the fourth. And I stepped up. I mean, I couldn't control that. Although the internet seems to think I'm a loser because he wasn't there. Yeah. But I don't know. It's hilarious, dude. I love it. It's
out
good.
With the chestnut and with the deep dish. That's what I got to say.
Yeah.
So going back to Kobayashi, because he was the guy to beat. He's just this really tiny little guy from China or Japan, and
Japan, yeah.
Japan, and like everyone wanted to beat him. I mean, I remember you used to have a picture of him on a shirt with like the big circle and going like, "I got your number." So did you finally get to go ahead and I guess take the championship from him or the belt?
I mean, no, but not growing up, but in the beginning, he was the guy, and he was the Jordan before Joey, and now I don't know what the proper comparison is, but Joey I guess he'd be more like the Pistons, and then Joey would be the Jordan, The Pistons had a good run for a while, but then the Bulls came in, and Joey is the Bulls from the 90s. He's the greatest of all time to ever do it, So I was going to say I beat Kobayashi in weird foods, but it never... It's like Joey. You could beat him in any other food. It doesn't matter unless it's hot dogs.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's like you compared it to Jordan. That's like the NBA Finals, the dog finals. You can't.
The bad boys of Detroit taking on Jordan and Pippen and that entire first three-peat group. Yeah, that was a good time though. I mean, you're basically that version or how we look up to you. I'm actually wearing a Rodman jersey right now as we speak.
Well, the comparison with that is even more fitting because Jordan walked away for 2 years. So, like, I'm in that zone when Jordan's gone. Joey's gone, at least for this year. So, like, I think that's the perfect comparison,
He could always come back, yeah. Give his stomach a rest.
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, he's still at the peak of his skill. So, it's just going to be a question of whether they can work it out, like, the contract-wise. So,
I heard... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I heard that you were on the way to the South Side when we started this with you. My question for you is, how many Rico Benny's steak sandwiches could you take down in a row?
Oh, man. The last time I ate, I like the Vesuvia one. What's the one? It's on the garlic bread, the chicken with the garlic bread.
Yeah, I've never had that one. I've only just done the breaded steak. That
one is good. As long as it's not the spicy jardinera, because the last time I did it, it had on there and it really destroyed me. So, I don't know. I like that sandwich too much to even have to think about eating a lot of it, because that might change my opinion of it.
Exactly. You need to enjoy it. That's the whole idea.
Shit is good.
And being a White Sox fan, that's the only thing that I've had. Like, if I've gone to a game this year, I go there knowing like they're probably gonna fucking lose. So that's my mindset going into it, is like just enjoy your breaded steak afterwards, because you're not gonna have fun. So it's almost like the reason I go out to the South Side now for me.
So, what's your favorite food when you're just not getting ready for a competition?
It is going to be pizza, but as of late, I'm really digging on Middle Eastern food like shawarma and baba ganoush, and then Mexican food is like the top 3, and then hot dogs is probably 4th on that list. Sausage,
All right, true Chicagoan. I mean, it's cultured. Definitely is. And I always, what's your favorite pizza? Is it going to be the deep dish still? Because I know that's part of your name now.
I know. It's just because tavern style or party cut. Actually, yeah, party cut is pretty good, but it's too late to change it to party cut Bertoletti or tavern. So
I work for Giordano's, so my boss will be really happy to hear that it's his deep dish.
I grew up on Giordano's. I like Giordano's. I like the stuffed crust spinach with pepperoni. I think it's really good, and it's like if people have never had it, that's way better than Gino's Easton. Like who knows? I think, but I prefer like the tavern.
That's one of our best sellers, actually. That's one of our best sellers is the stuffed with spinach and pepperoni. We sell tons of that.
It's good. I mean, it's really good. That's the best version of traditional deep dish. I mean, I like Pequod's. I think Pequod's is better, but it's not deep dish per se. You know? I forgot to say. I mean, the childhood pizza is never the best pizza, but most people have a hard time separating. And I don't know. I don't. Yeah, for me, it's childhood, but it's not the best deep dish. That's for sure.
Where did you grow up? I know you're from here.
Palos Heights.
Palos Heights. What's your childhood spot out there?
So it would have been Aurelio's and Giordano's, which, yeah.
So when do you plan on doing a Italian beef competition here?
If we're gonna do anything like that, I'd like to set a mild giardiniera record. That'd be way more interesting to me and funny to have.
That would be great. I would love that.
And how many antacids do you have to take after that? Do you have you got to swallow a whole roll of them, or?
Oh man, I'm on Prilosec every day. Well, at least while I'm training, and then I even had to call into the doctor. I'm like, can I double this dose? And she's like, no, I got to give you something else stronger. So now I'm down to just a regular once a day, like actually whatever the other one is.
Pantaprazole. I had to take that for a while. That's like the generic form, that they give you at like a prescription form of Prilosec. I had to take that.
Yeah, I think it's slightly different. And I was like, can I just double this? She's like, no, I got to give you something else. Take it at night. And but Tums for sure. Mixed berry all the way. The mixed berry ones are delicious.
I gotta keep that in mind.
I'm a big Rolaids guy. I like Rolaids. I think maybe it's because they sell them at the liquor store. So
those aren't strong enough. We need the 5,000 milligrams here. We got jalapeno champion professional eater Patrick Deep Dish Bertoletti on our podcast of all places.
In his honor, when I go home, I'm buying a fucking tub of those mixed berries, man.
There you go.
Chewable, the ones that
those
are
are
candy.
Good. Yeah, it was almost a shame because the jalapeno one. I had a whole system figured out, which I can walk you through, but then they just stopped doing it. You know.
What was that? We want to hear it.
It was just prepping the day before with like simple carbs and dairy or ice cream or milk, and then Pepto. And then the day of it was all the same stuff, Pepto and then Imodium to try to dam up the back door a little bit. And then it was usually a couple of times afterwards where you had those normal issues when you just eat something spicy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't really fart at that point. You're going to shart. We had a bar patron here because we're Tales from a Dive Bar podcast. And he basically sharted himself while he was trying to talk and get interviewed. It was hilarious.
He basically sharts himself like all the time, though. Like his whole life is sharting.
But let me ask you this. In all of your competitions as a professional eater, how beneficial have Depends been in some of those competitions? Is it like a 1 in 10 thing, or do you got to have it every time?
I have never worn them, but they would have come in handy. Actually, there was a bratwurst contest in Sheboygan, and they had a qualifier, and my friend Crazy Legs, the whole thing was, it's all about, like, the hot dogs, you'd have the similar problem where you would have a bad effects after because the grease doesn't get soaked up, if you're doing just... Oh. So the bun actually helps that greatly, but he had worn it for the finals, and then I think Kobayashi had even commented about how he had diarrhea, which sounds, I didn't know he knew that word, but he knew it in broken Japanese. He said it out loud, or in broken English, which yeah, stuff like that. But I've never had 10 minutes is a short enough amount of time. But yeah, luckily, fingers crossed, no issues with that stuff.
Good, good. What? I've seen people dip hot dogs in water. Is that like a standard thing to help reduce something, the acidity, or?
Yeah, it's strictly efficiency. So
Just makes the bread go down, right? So there's less bread,
yeah,
or it feels like
it's
is.
one less step. So it's one less step because if you do the bun, a bun will dry your mouth out, and you'd have to take a sip of water anyway. So like the best eater, I mean Joey will. I've watched all. I've seen even his training videos. I've helped train him. He will not drink any water outside of the buns, which is incredible. But yeah, it's efficiency. I mean, it's not how you're supposed to eat a hot dog, but
when
you're going to eat that many of them, you're not going to look pretty doing it anyway. So like, what's the point? You know,
when you're
it doesn't
competing,
really matter.
you got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
You're not sitting there.
Yeah, like
trying
I
to
used
put
to.
Ketchup on top of it and go, all right, now I'm ready. Here, let's get some. You just gotta go ahead and pile it on down there.
Yeah, I think I used to do like. Well, I used to do like sugar-free, cool, like wild fruit punch or something, and that would change the flavor up. It can be helpful, but this time around, I just didn't realize how disgusting that looked. So I just switched to water. But you'll see other competitors use different liquids and stuff to change up the flavor.
Sure.
So,
well, there's a lot of techniques that can be used. Like even in the most recent one with the blueberries, you did like a bowl shake while you were scooping them down into the gullet. There.
oh yeah,
like that seemed to be like a little bit of the trick. What was the idea or the thought behind that?
that's good that you caught that. I guess it was just I did the practices in the bowl. Like they had warned us, like don't make a mess, and I was just kind of tuning out in practice, and I realized like if I didn't do that, then they were just going everywhere. So that was just to level the blueberries and make it easier to grab, and that's why you practice. Because like I used to never do that. I thought it was a waste of time, but you got to go in with a game plan, and that just all played into it, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, you've been doing it for over 10, actually 15 years at this point, probably more at this point.
I think almost 18 or 20, coming up on 20, I'd have to say.
So what would you tell your self
Coming
that's
up in
20
his
years
20s?
younger?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't change the whole journey because I took like 8 years off. I mean, I don't think if I told myself the stuff that I know now, eating wise, I don't know. I'm good friends with Joey. And he told me all the stuff to do, but it was something had to click mentally, and he got me to the finish line. But I had to finish it. So I think I would have just told myself to not start a Twitter account, and I don't have it anymore, thank God. But you know that I wish I would have not have made all these dumb jokes, and it's all media lessons, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not ashamed of any of it, but I'm like, man, sometimes your humor does not translate over Twitter, you know.
Well,
So,
it's hard for
that's
it.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
changed.
it's understandable because it's hard for it because even just with what you do as a professional, they look at it and think like it's gluttonous, and you're like, no, there's a lot of training and thought that goes into this. It's not like I just I'm gonna go, all right, I'm gonna tackle a 25-pound steak. I'm not gonna all of a sudden have people like like. The last thing you want as a professional eater is for everyone to stand there on the stage and then watch you puke your guts out after you've tried to eat, the most cheese sauce you can here.
I think what it is too. I said to him, I was like, how many Rico Bennies could you tackle? And he was like, I mean, I want to enjoy that. So there's food that he wants to just relax and enjoy. It's not like he just shovels meals down. And I'm sure people are just look at it like it's uncultured or something. They're like, oh, they just shove shit in their fucking gullet. But it's not how it is. It's like you like to enjoy food too. It's not like that's how you eat every day of your life.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like, it doesn't benefit you to eat that way. And I love food, man. I'm a chef, so like I get it, and it is like diametrically opposed, like the eating stuff. But I put competitive eating in a different box where it's not even necessarily eating. It's like, yeah, that's the food, but the competition is to see, like you're just filling I kind of separate it, and I'm past the point of like, oh, I love this food, I want to just eat so much of it. It's like
So what is your next plan in terms of what's the next record you plan on breaking?
I want to say, what's the next food you're going to tackle? Both of them.
Yeah,
it's gonna be Wendy's Nuggets next Friday in Long Island, which I think I got a good shot of winning, setting the record, and then I think I got poutine after that in Canada. So
Oh man, I was reading on your Wikipedia
Yeah.
that you did the first poutine competition in Canada. So is it like this? This is a sequel here?
homecoming, yeah, they've been doing this event for a long time. I did it in the very beginning, and then I like retired from MLE, so now I'm coming back. The record is kind of crazy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to break the record. I think it's like 24 pounds, but we'll see. It should be. It's a great sponsor. It's Smokes Poutine and excellent people up there, and I love it. I'm looking forward to going back for sure.
What city is it in?
It's
Is
Toronto.
it in Toronto?
Toronto.
Yeah.
That sounds about right where
Yeah.
that would be.
Yeah.
what's the
I
record
think it's
for
originally
nuggets?
From like Quebec, but there's no record for nuggets.
Oh, there isn't
so.
one? There's about to be one. You're
Yeah, I
about to
mean,
have it.
yep, whoever wins will for sure. But hey, I'm sorry, guys. Can I call you guys back a little bit later? I got another interview I forgot about. They're calling me.
Absolutely. We're actually ready to take a break. I was kind of knowing right when I said what's next. It was where we were going to be. If you would love to call us back or text me, whatever, we would love to have you on. We're going to continue the podcast.
And if
but-
we don't hear from
Yeah,
you,
okay.
man, it was really good to talk to you, Patrick. We wish you the best, man. And
Thank you.
And yes,
good luck on the nuggets and the poutine.
and we will have the interview
Yeah, I'll-
up along with your
Yeah.
Instagram, everything tagged for Patrick Deep Dish Bertoletti, professional eater. And of course, like I'm saying,
Thank
because
you.
this is a big thing. I mean, 58 hot dogs for the Nathan's famed hot dog eating contest. You destroyed them. Are you going to do it again next year?
Yeah, I definitely will be back.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, man. We thank you so
Yeah.
much. Take
Cool.
care of yourself. We
thank you,
appreciate you.
guys.
Thanks for coming on.
I'll shoot.
Thank you. Love you, brother.
Appreciate
We're
you,
going to
man.
get back up. Let's catch up.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Hey, what's up? It's JD, and One Body, One Life established their clinic as an alternative health and wellness cannabis clinic to help their patients heal and reduce their chronic medical symptoms in a natural way using cannabis as their medicine. If you experience headaches, migraines, aches and pains, and inflammation, contact One Body, One Life today. Maybe you have stomach issues related to nervousness, stress, anxiety, PTSD, or depression. No matter how intense or minor your symptoms are, you may qualify. If you have trouble sleeping at night, experience restlessness, the doctors at One Body, One Life can help get your provisional medical cannabis card in as little as 24 hours. I use them, and the process was simple. To see a list of qualifying medical conditions, go to onebodyoneLife.net. One Body, One Life conducts telemedicine patient evaluations throughout the entire state of Illinois. Cannabis is intended for adults 21 and over and can impair cognition that may be habit forming. Do not operate heavy machinery or a motor vehicle while under the influence of cannabis. Void in states where prohibited and may carry significant penalties based on jurisdictions or under federal law for the time being.
It's Alan's Angry Sports.
Well, I'm not angry today, Jason. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Today is a red letter day in the world of sports. I can't be angry all the time. I mean, my blood pressure would be 185 over 171. Can't do that. So I will say, though, it's a red letter day. The Bears signed Caleb finally.
Yes.
He signed for, I want to say it was $39 million. I can't talk when I do this. I said 30 mine. 30, and I'm not even drunk. $39 million over 4 years. I think he got 25 and a half guaranteed. And it's a good deal for a rookie. I thought they were going to do it when they did the Hard Knocks show that's coming out, which is going to be fucking awesome. Hopefully the Bears will be able to break that Hard Knocks course. But I will tell you what I was angry about.
Oh, boy. Here it comes.
Here it comes. So that girl that did the national anthem at the home run derby was getting clowned left and right. Oh man, was that bad. They showed all the guys looking. They showed not Bobby Witt Jr., but the guy in the Phillies. They showed him looking like, what in the name of fuck is this chick doing? And then she got up today and was like, I think I'm gonna go to rehab. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I love my country. I'm so sorry about that. I was fucked up last night. And I guess that speaks volumes of her because, you know, rehab's always good if you think you need it. But that's pretty. It's pretty sad when you go in front of millions of people and you tell them that you don't know how to sing very well.
It's Alan's Angry Sports.
I got cut off there. I didn't like that, but
I figured
that is the end of my. Yeah, it's Alan's not angry sport.
Alan's semi-angry sports, but not really.
Anyway, No, it's cool. Until next time, we'll see you soon on Tales from a Dive Bar. Have a good night.